From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
And Corey Clark.
Wake up! What is up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's show, it's the Renegade Express. Lots of questions about the top 40. Who would we leave out? Who should we have left out? Our favorite Jordan Travis moments, and a national championship proposition, everybody. Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, Tallahassee, Florida. CPTallybar.com is the website. 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Weekday lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for only $8.99. On Thursdays, get you a cheesesteak sandwich. Or shoot, you can just get a chicken cheesesteak sandwich. I think usually we think about steak when we hear cheesesteak, but they'll do chicken or steak, however you like it. And you get a side dish: straight fries, curly fries, onion rings, potato salad, broccoli, side salad, tater tots, or freshly cooked potato chips. All that for $8.99 at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Don't forget, later tonight, it is bingo night at the Corner Pocket, 7 p.m. Test your bingo skills to win drinks and prizes. And before that, get set up for the night with Michael Langston and myself. Live recruiting show, 5 p.m., a little bit earlier than usual because we have our annual Warchant team bonding exercise. We do paintball. It gets really intense out there. Langston, puts camo face paint on. I usually don't talk to him for a week afterwards. It just gets really kind of awkward out there. But we'll do it at 5 p.m. We'll do it live, Corey. We will do it live. Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Father's Day promotion. Is that live right now, Corey? I think it's live.
All right. Okay.
What
is it? Tell the people.
So you can re-up your dad. If your dad's already a member, you can re-up him for another year.
Can I re-up my dad?
Well,
because he's dead.
I mean, I'm never going to be fully comfortable with you and the father, the dad jokes.
Well, just the way you said re-up your dad, I was like, well, if only that was an option.
6 months of access for $40 or 1 year of access for $75, and you can make that a gift. There's a link on the website to show you how to go about doing that. You can one-up yourself and then get the year back up and running after that dollar expires on you. So check that out. 5-star rating and review, thumbs up, please, as well. Corey Clark joining us from his manor in the greater Atlanta area before he comes down to Tallahassee. Thanks for doing that, Corey. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How are you doing? Did you have a good Flag Day?
Yeah, man. Well, I celebrated your birthday mainly around these parts. Had
Right.
a parade through the Midtown offices and such. It started here, ended here. Happy birthday. How's 39 feel?
Yeah, it feels great. It feels great, as good as it did the last 9 years.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't my mom got me a present,
Aw.
and that's it. Brady texted me happy birthday.
Kids.
Never said it to me.
Kids.
Certainly didn't get me anything. Why would he? So yeah, there we are.
Are you-
Stephanie had a very sweet message on Twitter and also texted me something very sweet. And I got a lot of, actually, anybody listening to this that texted me, thank you. I got a lot of well wishes on Twitter and in text form.
Well, you're far from it, but will you do anything big for the 50th?
I don't know. Probably, I guess, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what is a good 50th birthday celebration.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to the Rosillo podcast. They were talking about Simmons' nephew getting married and, just getting handed shots the night before your wedding. Usually that happens to guys. I guess you get really maybe sometimes too drunk the night before your wedding. And Simmons was talking about like that happened to him on his 50th birthday. Like everyone just kept handing him shots from the jump and he was like out of it by 10 p.m. and had to like go back to the hotel or whatever. So you got to pace yourself if you do something big dog. So just letting you know.
Yeah, well, I got time. I got 11 years to think about it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. We have a bunch of questions. The Renegade Express. These are all.
Brady just informed me via text, by the way, that he does have a present for me.
Oh.
But it's with his mom.
Okay.
Which is cool because I don't think it's her birthday, but somehow she has it and he doesn't.
Brady Clark, everybody. Give it up. Give it up. All right, let's go to Noel Boyo 2. Wake up! Who is the player that you believe will impact the team who was not on your top 40 list?
I mean, that's a hard one to answer, right? Because if we thought they were going to impact the team, they'd be on there.
I had some reservations about leaving Keziah. I think Keziah Holmes could maybe – I mean, just as running backs, durability, usage, this coaching staff's history, using multiple guys and the cream rising to the top, and the way he's kind of built. He's a guy that I had on my top 40 on my first go through, but then when I'm like, I left this guy off, I had to move him off the list and move some guys around. So Keziah Holmes is one of those guys, and I don't want to steal everything from you. I think Darion Williamson's another guy. If health is on his side, he is probably more physically gifted than every other receiver not named Johnny and Keon. So he can maybe find himself as that number 3 wide receiver. So maybe those two guys.
Okay. What about I was thinking, because I wrote the 5 that are now on our site, the actual 5, not just our votes, but everybody's combined. Dennis Briggs might be somebody that I rue the day that I left him off my top 40, because I did. He didn't make my top 40. He was probably 42 or 43. But I just thought that with Fisk on board, Jackson on board, Farmer staying on board, and Lovett staying on board, I was like, well, man, what's your 5th defensive tackle? How much is he going to really impact the season? But if he can become even better than he was, and he's not been anything special since he's been here. No offense, Dennis, but you haven't. If he becomes better than he's been, then now you have a rotation of 5 guys.
Which is what Odell wants. That's what he says.
I mean, that's a nice rotation, man, where maybe Fisk and Jackson are only having to play 43 snaps a game, which means in the fourth quarter they're in, they're well rested and ready for the biggest drives of the game. And having somebody like Dennis Briggs being able to eat up snaps and eat up reps in the middle of the game could end up being a really big deal. So I think I might stay with him or Mastromano.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Just saying. He might punt. He's going to punt. What's he going to punt? 40 times this season? 35 times this season? Some of them might be, if he can pin them deep inside the 10, that could be big news.
I mean, if they play into the national championship game, that's 15 games?
Okay.
You think he's going
45?
You think he's going to punt more than 2 times a game?
I think 3. If they get to the champ, yeah, I think he's going to average about. I think they could get to the championship game with him averaging 3 punts a game. Okay. That means they're scoring on 5 or 6 up every game, or 8 or 11, however many drives they have. So yeah, I think if your punter averages right around 3 punts per game, you got a good offense. You're in good position to win a lot of football games.
All right. By the way, 31 through 35, again, that's up on the website. Looks like I had all those guys on my list. Corey, you did not have Briggs and Morlock on yours. So.
Correct. And Morlock, same thing. I think we talked about him the last show we did, or 2 shows ago. Just he's the 3rd string tight end. But again, I can see it, and he might vault Marquiston. He might become a red zone weapon. We'll see. It's just you don't know for sure. He's certainly fit right in, right? In the spring. It's just you don't know until you see it in an actual Division I game.
Yeah. Raw Dog 2Gs1. Wake up. In the spirit of the top 40 list, who would you guys say are Mike Norvell's top 10 high school recruits so far that he has gotten to Florida State? Go Noles. Ooh, good question, man. I should have had the list pulled up, all these guys. Robert Scott for sure is on there.
Okay.
I can say that.
Okay. Azarie Thomas.
We can go with that. Josh Farmer.
Okay. All right. Hakeem. We gonna throw Hakeem in there?
Oh, Hakeem.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ranked. He's ranked awfully high, so I guess why not?
You know what? I'm gonna say Vandravius Jacobs.
Okay.
I'm already throwing him in the mix.
Okay.
He's in there.
I got 2020. I got the 20 class pulled up. Lawrence Toafili, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Jakai's a possibility. Maybe. Looking. You got Marquiston and Tate from 2020. Those are probably your only other guys from 2020.
Yeah. No.
I don't know how many we agree on right now in terms of having 10, 21. Patrick Payton. Everyone's yelling at us. You're right. Yep. Patrick Payton.
Got that.
You're right.
Nailed
you're right. That. Let's see here. Shaheem. Would you put Shaheem ahead of – you got to put him ahead of Hakeem if we're going to have a top 10 list, right?
Yeah, but I think they both probably make it.
Yeah. Okay. Destyn Hill's on my list.
Oh yeah. He should count for 3 guys.
But we'll look through 22 real quick here. Armella hasn't done anything yet, so I don't want to put him on.
Yeah, it's hard to know like what not many of them have actually contributed a ton.
Yeah.
But I think Hakeem Williams will. I think Azaria Thomas will. I also think they were big gets at the time, which is that you need to make some sort of splashes. That's why Armella might be a guy too, just because he was the highest ranked guy in that class, right? Him and Azaria. Yes. After Travis Hunter bolted, that was big to nail down those two guys just for the momentum of the class and of the program. So I would probably put both those up there too.
And just I guess we can throw Rodney Hill maybe in there as well too. I would say.
Not a lot to choose from. So What about Portier? Was he not one of his guys?
I want to say he came in 19, but maybe he came in with Tate in 2020.
Yeah, I thought he and Tate were both true freshmen in 20.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Portier's definitely on there.
Yeah, okay. I think we said 10 guys. Sorry we didn't rank them properly.
We did them, but we got the guys.
We got 10.
Probably.
That's all that matters. Thanks, Raw Dog. Appreciate it. Be safe out there, big dog. Next question here on the Renegade Express. Get down or lay down? It's a trivia question for you. Corey, you ready?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Corey trivia. This former Florida State player is the last NFL player to ever wear a single bar face mask. Please answer in the form of a question, Corey. Former FSU player, last NFL player to ever wear a single bar face mask.
Ron Stark? Who is Ron Stark?
No. Who is Scott Player?
Oh, another punter. Oh, yeah, for the Cardinals. Yeah, how about that? Okay, I didn't realize that. I figured it was a kicker, but I didn't know that Scott Player was the – is that true?
I don't know. It's according to our guy Kyle. Get down or lay down. I think it was in the military, so he's disciplined. I figured that was probably well-researched.
Why would anybody make that up?
Right, exactly.
Okay, Scott Player. All right, he punted in the I want to say the late 80s.
Okay. All right.
Right when the dynasty was starting.
All right. Dalvinism. Wake up! Sticking with the top 40 theme, if you had to bet your retirement savings on who the number one player in next year's list would be, who would you pick? Any chance next year's number one player is currently not on the roster? Ooh, look at you guys. It's June, but coming strong. Yeah,
there is absolutely a chance
that they're not on the roster right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it would be a quarterback in that instance, yes?
Correct.
Yeah, man, just looking at some of these usual suspects that are at the top of our list, man, you're like, Benson, Johnny, Verse, Jordan, Jaheim. We're not counting on those guys being back next year, really, are we?
Right.
So, at that point, then you're going to maybe like
could be Keon. But
man, in his announcement when he committed, he said the next 8 months.
Yeah, so. He's draft eligible, and he might be a pit stop. Yeah.
Is it Tate or somebody that's not here right now? Because I don't know, maybe Patrick Payton ends up being has a really great sophomore year, and then you're like, oh man, he's going to be he's going to wreak havoc. He's going to pick up the torch left by Jermaine and Jared. But I don't know. I think where this bar is going to be reset this season with how this team plays, like competing for a playoff spot, I don't know if a defensive end is going to be number one because you have an offensive-minded coach, and that's what's going to make this team so explosive and dangerous with this offense. So I don't know. I wonder what the odds on my bookie would it be someone who's on the roster? Like, is that like plus 150 and someone that's not on the roster right now that's like plus 100? I feel like I don't know. I'm not setting the lines, but I feel it would be kind of close like that, no?
Yeah, I do too. I think it would be better odds. I think it'd be more likely that it's on the roster because they do have some players, and they have some good players that are coming up. And the problem is you don't know who's going to stay, who's going to go. But I think the better bet is off the roster. If you get that at like plus 210, you take that. Just because, like you said, We'll see what the quarterback situation is, I guess. If there's somebody out there, if Jordan Travis has a big year, and then there's a quarterback out there on the open market that sees what Jordan Travis has done the last 2 or 3 years, is like, man, I want to go play in that offense. It might be hard for Rodemaker to hold on to to get the job, I should say. He would not keep it; he never had it. So, I think, and if you bring in a star transfer quarterback, well, he vaults to the top of the list.
Well said, Corey. Thank you, man. Mark, M. Adams, CZ, Naples. Wake up! More top 40 themed questions. We love it. Which player left out of the top 40 by the consensus of the staff has the best chance of deserving a top 40 spot after the season? Which player inside the top 40 has the best chance of maybe being dubbed overrated and being outside the top 40 after this season? Sorry, perhaps a dud of a question, but hey, it's the offseason, man. You guys get it. Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. Or you guys can go with Northern barbecue or Southern barbecue for the 4th of July. Northern being hot dogs, hamburgers, potato salad, potato chips. Southern being ribs, chicken, baked beans, and slaw. Go Noles.
I think he's saying Southern is in like the definition of what barbecue. Like the Northerners, when they're like, oh, let's go, we're going to a barbecue.
Right.
It's like hot dogs. It's like, well, that's not what we assume barbecue is. I would, for the 4th of July, that was the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hot dogs.
Hamburger. I'm a hamburger guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff on the grill. It's the light hot dog hamburger fare on the grill, not a slab of ribs.
Yeah.
But you guys are nuts that do that go all out like that with your dry rub and all that good stuff.
Some might say, Corey, that the barbecue is the ribs and the chicken, but if you're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers, it's merely a cookout. You're not having a barbecue.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. I've never understood we're going to a barbecue and there's no barbecue there.
Right.
Or let's go put that stuff on the barbecue. Yeah. It's like, no, that's crazy. Yeah. But then I grew up calling every soda a Coke. Whether it was a Mountain Dew or a Pepsi. I'd call Pepsi's. I'm going to get a Coke, and I would get a Pepsi.
I get that, but not Mountain Dew. You call Pepsi Coke, but you call Mountain Dew Coke?
No, I would just say, let's go get some Cokes.
Oh, okay.
And it would be anything, basically any carbonated drink at all, we would call Cokes.
Okay.
It's Atlanta, though. Give me a break, right? It's the home of Coca-Cola.
Rep it.
I'm looking at this. I mean, I guess I'm going to not toot my own horn, but I'm going to go with my own choice. And I'm going to say Byron Turner.
Okay.
As a guy outside the top 40 that I think by the end of the season could be an impact player. Just because of where he is on the depth chart.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you can't put like all the offensive linemen. That's just way too many that are like on your two deep. But when it comes to like the fact that he's one of your second team defensive end, and he wasn't on. I don't know if it was on anybody else's list. I think it was only on yours. I mean, that's pretty wild. That the potential definitely is there for that to happen. Yeah, Deuce Spann is a guy that was on a couple people's lists, but not on the consensus.
Right.
But that's just such a deep position. But golly, he's the fastest guy they've got. Like if he can untap that, then maybe he's the big play, take the top off the defense, then gives Keon a couple breaks every now and then. But I don't know if that'll get crack into the top 40 in terms of impact plays. But yeah, we'll go Byron Turner, who wasn't on there. I don't know if he overvalued anybody. I don't want to give any spoilers away here.
I would say out of the 10 that we already have on the list, like from the master.
Right.
So it's we'll go from the 10 because, we don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Edmund, Briggs, Thomas, Morlock, Darius Washington, Rodemaker, Noles, Lundy, Ja'Kai Douglas, or Winston Wright. My choice is either Briggs or Noles, and probably Kevin Noles.
For being a little bit overvalued.
Well, and he's not even valued that much. It's just that's such a deep secondary, and he did not play well last year. And if he does not pick it up and play better than he did last year at slot corner, he will not be playing for this defense. So that's why I think that he might not be one of the top 40 players on the team. He's just simply got to play better than he did last year.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, too, also, obviously, the injury, him not being available. I mean, he graded out at a 59 as a true freshman. He graded out at 53.9 last year.
And Greedy Vance plays his position.
Yes.
And plays it better than he does.
Yes.
Or did, anyway, in 2022.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate the question, man. Way to kill it. He probably had some vitamin energy in his diet to come up with all those questions.
Amen, brother.
VitaminEnergy.com. Again, the promo code is WarChantBOGO, BOGO. Buy one, get one free. All you got to do is put that promo code in there, put 2 boxes in your order, get one of them for free. That's how it works. Pick your flavors, pick your variety. They got the Mood Plus, Workout Plus, Focus Plus, Immune Plus, B12 14,000% vitamin D formulations. They all taste great and you can carry them wherever you go. They're in a little 2-ounce bottle, not even 2 ounces, I think 1.98 ounces. But hey, who's counting? Vitamins and energy. Shake it and take it. VitaminEnergy.com. Promo code WarChampBOGO. Try it. You'll like it. Take a shot. All right, back at it, Corey. Parker 3306. I think Destyn Hill would have been on my list. After watching his tape, I think he will be the starting punt returner, but I don't know how many catches he will get. What do you think?
I don't think he'll be the starting punt returner. He might get some at-bats, returning kicks and punts, but I don't think you start the season with him against LSU as your starting punt returner. He's never played. He hasn't played in 3 years. That's a lot. By the way, he gets to play his home state team. Might be a little amped up for that. But I doubt they recruited him. Did LSU even recruit Destyn Hill?
I don't recollect. No? I would not think so. It's always hard for me to think that kids never leave New Orleans, man. I mean, I know LSU's in Baton Rouge, but like kids in Louisiana rarely leave LSU if there's an offer out there for them. So, I mean, I can see it now, right? Like Florida State gets a 3-and-out on defense, and then Fowler's like, back to return for the punt, Destyn Hill for the Noles. Interesting story on this one, Kirk. Yeah. He was actually a commitment in 2021. Fell off the earth for 2 years, and now he's here returning punts against his hometown team. And then Kirk shares some sort of thing. Yeah, we talked to Coach Norvell and blah, blah, blah. So see it, believe it.
Visualize again, we'll see. I just the talent is certainly there for sure. And maybe he's the guy that's off the top 40 list that by the time the season's over will look dumb for not having him. It's just that who knows? Who could possibly know?
Corey does not mean me when he says we, though, because I had him on my list.
The royal we, the Warchant we. Yeah,
I'm kidding. I put him at 40. It's not like I didn't really swing for it there. Another question for Corey comes from VCal5. Corey, now that your son plays competitive high school sports, has that influenced your columns in any way? Has it given you any different perspective?
First off, I don't know how competitive that freshman baseball team was that he played on. It's not quite high level varsity sports that a lot of our listeners probably have their kids playing. But no, not really. I think I've always had a pretty good perspective on how important what my son is doing is, which isn't very. So no, I guess I would say not really, but maybe in 2 years, if he's playing varsity, I'll think differently. Like right now, it's freshman, and then next year will probably be JV, and then after that, if he's on a varsity team, it might somehow alter my perception of how I write. But I would hope not. I would hope I have the empathy that comes with not even having a person on a varsity team. Because here's the thing, and I don't even quite understand what the reference is as far as how it would impact me, but I don't really try to rip kids at all. Like I'll rip coaches, and I don't really rip them either. Like after the Jacksonville State game, I might not have been nice, but I'm not out here to try to just vilify people. And I certainly wouldn't vilify a college athlete. I will criticize a play that was made, or I'll criticize if somebody continually makes dumb plays. I will criticize that, and I'll certainly criticize coaching. But I try to not make it personal. So if that's what it's in reference to, I've always tried to not make it personal and attack people for the sake of attacking. That makes sense?
Yeah. You're fair. You're fair and honest.
I try to be. And I was thinking about this the other day. I remember somebody telling me way back when I was at the Democrat that they liked me because you just tell it like it is. And I told them at the time, I'm like, well, not really. And this is what I believe. I was thinking about this today for some reason. I tell it like I perceive it. That's all we can do. Like nobody tells it like it is. They tell it from their vantage point. But what I don't do is worry about if people are going to be upset. I try not to worry about if people are going to be upset by what I write. And I don't mean like a kid. Again, I'm not criticizing a kid, but a fan might be like, well, golly, he's really going after our head baseball coach or our head softball coach, or I haven't done that, Lonnie, our head football coach. But more like I just, if I think something was a dumb thing to do, I'll say it or write it. It doesn't mean I'm calling the person dumb. I've done plenty of dumb things. I do 7 or 8 dumb things a day. I bought this stuff called Oragel. Have you heard of this, Aslan?
Yeah, it's for like your gums if you got like a toothache or something, right?
So I don't have that. Yes, I have. I bit my lip really hard.
Ooh.
Like 4 or 5, maybe a week ago at this point, man. I mean, I really was gnawing on something. I think barbecue, not hot dogs, everyone, but actual barbecue. And I bit into my lip really hard and made it bleed. And then when I was in Alabama, it was really stinging. Like anytime I would eat something, it would sting. So Stephanie told me to get something, the Oragel.
Right.
And I still haven't used it because I can't figure out how to get it out of the tube. So understand, when I say somebody did something dumb, it comes from somebody that does dumb things all the time. So I think I have the right to – I will call something dumb, but it doesn't mean I think people are dumb. That makes sense,
right.
I hope.
What would you do?
That was a long answer.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, like, yeah, because you wouldn't want me to have a podcast, and if, Brady Clark, runs past the third base coach's instructions to stop, you don't want me calling him dumb because we all err.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because Jeff won't call people dumb, but he'll say, he's terrible. He can't play.
I love when he does that.
He does that all the time. And now I don't ever really write or say stuff like that. Jeff does. Jeff was also a college athlete. I don't know why that should matter, but it does a little bit. But I was thinking, and look, Brady's not going to play at Florida State, but if somehow Brady was a starting outfielder at Florida State and Jeff was like, look, man, the Clark kid just can't play, I'd be like, well, screw you, dude. Yeah. And I shouldn't be, because he's just giving his opinion. But, it would probably make me mad.
Yeah. All right. Let's cheer up. The Walking Nolo 1 says, happy late birthday, Corey.
There
you go. You guys are just great. I've been following along since the Sunday that Willie got let go. Boy, what a journey it has been since.
Oh. I'm
hoping for the same turnaround in baseball. If you had to guess, would you say it's more likely that they decide to build a new stadium by the IM fields or decide to expand the grandstands? Both of these options by 2025, I hope. Or I guess do nothing is an option, but it doesn't seem like it is for Michael Alford. Thanks for all you do. Go Noles.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the birthday wishes. I think, here's my thought, Aslan. They are not going to build a baseball stadium until they start getting SEC money. Or Big Ten money. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully that happens at all. But when that happens, and you're making 35 or 40 extra $1 million a year, you can afford an expense like that, can't you? Yeah. So the thought being, I think they will build in the intramural fields before they do. I do think that will happen in our lifetimes. I guess I should just say that.
Okay. But not by 2025.
Not by 2025. They will not have that thing built. But, man, I just think it would, if they can get to one of those conferences and get all that money, what an awesome setting that would be for baseball. To have College Town right behind it, down the right field line or the left field line or whatever that would be, or center field. I mean, it'd just be a really cool venue.
Yeah.
Because right now it's not. It was awesome in its day, I promise. And it's not a shack, but it's just not – it's average at best. And if you went around – and we could say Florida State over the last 30 years, 40 years has been one of the top 10 or 15 programs in the country. If you go to those other 14 programs and look at their stadiums, it just does not add up. It doesn't stack up to them, especially in the South. You're just competing with these meccas, and you have to be better. It has to look better. It has to be better. And hopefully Link will be the guy that makes all that happen.
Yeah, man, they came in hot in 2003 with, like, fixing up Howser and the batting cages and things like that, like 2002, 2003. And it's kind of been dormant in terms of improvement since then. And we know a lot of things have changed in the last 20 years, so it's hard to look in the mirror and be like, yeah, man, we're still great when it comes to our facilities. It's still not. I don't know how much of a hindrance it is, though. I mean, because I get it. Like, everyone's got the nice shiny toy. You want the nice shiny toy too. But like, as super regionals were going on, I remember people were posting on the baseball forum. It's like, look at these great stadiums. Like, we're so far behind. We got to catch up. It's like, man, I just don't know if that's part of our problem right now. I mean, I know you can have two things going on at the same time, and you can try to improve that while you're trying to improve your roster. But I just don't know if we ever, if we came up short in 12 and 17 and 19 in Omaha because we didn't have a nice, hit shack, but.
Well, sure. I just think it'll be the disparity is getting larger.
It is. You're right. It is. NI lover everything, or maybe NIL over everything. However you want to, discern is your choice, everybody. It's like a Rorschach test. Wait up! I've been a huge Jordan Travis fan since day one. I'm convinced Willie Taggart would still be our head coach had he started Jordan Travis rather than James Blackman. I believe when Jordan Travis graduates, Jordan Travis will earn his spot on the FSU quarterback Mount Rushmore. No quarterback has done more with less, and I can't wait to see him next year, or rather this year, with elite talent by his side. So in that spirit, I ask you all, what are your top five favorite Jordan Travis moments?
Oh.
Do you want me to read his?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll say if they make my top 5.
All right, now he ranks them 1 to 5, descending order. So I don't know if number 1 is his absolute favorite or if it's the least favorite out of the 5, but we'll start with number 1. Debut game versus Boston College. His first play as a Seminole goes for a touchdown. He finishes the game 3 carries, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. 66% of his touches were touchdowns, everybody. Number 2, all of his games against North Carolina. In 2 games, his QBR average is 84. He's averaging 2 throwing touchdowns, 2 on the ground, and 110-yard rushing per game, saving the season in both years, including 5 straight scoring drives. The first signs of Magic Mike's genius. Number 3, 4th and 14, 98.7 QBR versus Miami. Number 4.
That definitely makes the list.
Yeah.
We should just do moments, not games necessarily, but that
Right.
is definitely one of his top 5 moments.
Yeah. Well, the first play against Boston College for sure. I don't know if one against North Carolina. Did he run for one when you were up there in the COVID year?
Yeah. He had like a 50-yarder.
The 2021. I know COVID year was here, but yeah. He had a nice run on that one, I thought.
Yeah.
Jordan Travis versus Clemson's best linebacker in the open field. Touchdown, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, Jordan versus Florida. Jordan Travis proves he can win the game by sheer will and look like the true dual-threat quarterback with a top 5 pick dual-threat quarterback. So, all right. Anything you want to add, or that they had that touchdown against Pitt in 2020 that was pretty dynamic, but they didn't win that game.
It was like an 89-yard run, I think.
Yeah.
Look, both of the scrambles against Florida. I think the 4th and 14 for sure. I'm trying to think of anything else that absolutely stands out because most of the games they won were blowouts. So I'm trying to think of anything a play that the run he had against Louisville up there in the COVID year after the North Carolina game where he fumbled the ball and picked it up.
Bounced it to himself.
He bounced it to himself
Yeah.
and then somehow scored was crazy.
Yeah.
That was nuts. Those plays, the throw to Ja'Kai, even before the throw to Parchment, there are a few to choose from. But I just think, I'm trying to think of last year in particular. And
what about that Philly special versus Syracuse?
No, you could have caught that. Wyatt Rector is the guy that made the play on that. He was the star of that play. Yeah, and then Oklahoma, there's I want to say the throws to Johnny, but it's like Johnny gets all the you know what I mean? You just throw it up but that was not a bad throw to Johnny Wilson now, the big one against Oklahoma down the sideline.
Yeah.
Johnny makes a great catch and then he one arms it and then throws the guy almost off him, but that ball is placed perfectly. So let me go with that one. I'll go with that one and then all the other ones we've talked about. I just think the 2 scrambles against Florida are legendary type scrambles, and he just got screwed because neither one was called a touchdown, even though they both were touchdowns. but those are all-time plays, both of them. Especially the first one. I feel like it was going to be a 42-yard field goal if he gets sacked there. Attempt, I should say. And instead they score a touchdown. And it completely changed the complexion of the game. And he did that twice on plays that Florida thought they had him.
I'm trying to hammer down the North Carolina, like the one particular North Carolina one I want to maybe go with. He scored on a 53-yard touchdown in 2021.
Yeah.
Put them ahead 14-10. But I like the touchdown he scored in 2020. The first score of the game, 23-yard run. First one-play drive, 23 yards, put him on the board 7-0. Doak comes alive. Doak stays alive. Florida State hangs on for dear life. Beats number 5 North Carolina. So that'll be my North Carolina representation. And then
and he's going to add hey, we're all hoping he adds a whole bunch to the list.
Yeah, how many of those are going to stay on the list do you think after this
I was
season?
going to say he needs to add a brand new 5 is what he needs to do.
Yeah.
We don't even care about North Carolina in 2020 after this season.
Island Chief, wake up! Top 40 list is here. You guys have been great in explaining your picks, and there is little to quibble about. I did a little Googling on the internet machine. Went back to 2020. The top 40 that year included at number 8, Corey Durden. Number 9, DJ Matthews. Number 10, Kalen Laburn. I do not miss 2020 very much.
Correct.
Where would those three rank as they were going into that season on this year's squad? Yeah, all that said, all right, we felt really good about Corey Durden. Corey Durden would make the top 40.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he'd be ahead of wherever Dennis Briggs is on the list, or maybe swap him out for Dennis Briggs as his floor. DJ Matthews, maybe he'd be thought of as the slot receiver right now if he was healthy. It's still going to be Keon and Johnny, but maybe he would be ahead of what we think Van Dravis is right now. And
he'd be where Micah would have been if Micah was healthy in here.
Now you're talking.
You know what I mean? The similar type players, both punt returners. He's a better punt returner. Or he's certainly more explosive. So I would put him with wherever we would have ranked Micah coming into this season if he had a good hip and was actually still on the team, which would probably be somewhere in the top 25. All right. So I think DJ would still. I mean, he's your number 3 slot guy and a punt returner. I think that warrants a top 25.
Yeah,
right?
and a good punt returner too.
Yes.
And a good punt returner.
Yep.
And then, hey man, Kalen Laburn he's clearly your number 2 running back. So he'd be high on the list. I think he'd be ahead of Lawrence Toafili.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and Rodney Hill would not be here.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, but we know how their careers played out. So we like who we have. But hey, once a Nole, always a Nole. So we're not besmirching their name, and neither was Island Chief. You're just pulling up the old Google machine. Yeah. I never went back to look at 2020, but that's a good one. I still have the crawl though from 19, and that wasn't much better. Everybody, I assure you. So, our guy Derek XCQ004. Wake up! In the spirit of ranking FSU players, compare the top 3 players in each and tell us if they turned out to be the best 3 players in that class. I don't know. I feel like there's something missing in here, but I read every word that's on my screen. Maybe
so say it one more time.
In the spirit of ranking FSU players, compare the top 3 players in each and tell us if the turned out to be the best 3 players in that class. So, maybe the top 3 players in each of Norvell's recruiting classes? And
maybe by the star rankings and the points.
Yeah.
Try it again next week.
Derek, yeah.
You're our dog. You know we love you.
Yeah.
You're a loyal listener. We definitely want to answer this question, but we are at a loss, and we don't want to guess what you meant. So ask it again, and then ask another one.
Yes.
Because we owe you 2 answers. So repeat this question, but make sure it's clear, clarify it, and then ask another one on top of that.
MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Use the promo code WARCHANT for an instant cash deposit bonus. You got to love it. All you do is put WARCHANT in there, and you get more money to play with. Use it over at MyBookie.ag. Hey, U.S. Open. So, shoot. Does this mean Father's Day is Sunday?
Yeah, there you go, Aslan. Yep.
Man. Oh, golly. Got to get that on the calendar here. Scotty Scheffler, odds-on favorite, plus 550. Brooks Koepka, though, the reigning PGA champion, Corey, plus 1,000 over at mybookie.ag. So if you put 100 on old Brooksy there, just put a little C note on him, you'll win $1,000.
If you put 100 on Brooks and 100 on Scheffler, well, then you're taking the two best players in the field. Well, I guess you could win.
Rahm's between them. Rahm's at plus 850.
Okay, so there you go. I'm going to put 100 on all three of them.
Ooh, okay.
So you're betting 300 to potentially win 1,000.
Yes.
But you could also win 550. You could also win 800.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not like you're picking, Scrubs McGee. You're picking the three best players in the world, probably. I mean, if Koepka played on the PGA Tour and got points for what he's done, the way he's looked in these last two majors, he's one of the two or three best players in the world. And then these other guys, Scheffler is the best player in the world, probably. And then Rahm's not bad either. Just throwing that out there, guys. Put 100 on each of them. One of them's probably going to win. What would you say, Aslan? Don't you think there's a pretty good chance one of those three guys wins the thing?
Yes. And, maybe just throw maybe $20 down on Max Homa. I think Max Homa's a Southern California guy, and this tournament's being played in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Country Club, so I think he has pretty decent history there.
Okay.
You put 20 on Max Homa, and he wins, you get $540. He's plus 2,700.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. Put 100 on him, too.
Yeah, all right. Yes.
Come on, gang. Let's get crazy.
Bet responsibly, everybody.
Please.
MyBookie.ag.
This ain't the NBA playoffs. Yeah. Don't take our words for this stuff.
Hey, Corey, check it out. It's the last question.
Let's do it.
13 questions, and we got to them all in like under 45 minutes. This is great, man. So we move. Happy Hour Knoll is the name of this poster. Wake up! First time Renexing.
Okay.
I'm originally from Tallahassee, home to bite-sized cookie magnet Wally Amos.
Yep.
As well as Emmy-nominated actress Cheryl Hines of Curb Your Enthusiasm and the box office hit RV, who is coincidentally also married to Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Who?
Is she?
Cheryl Hines is married to Robert? No, is she
yeah,
really?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. RFK
Wow.
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he Democratic presidential candidate RFK
Yes.
Jr. though? Is
Yeah.
he? Okay.
Yeah. That's what he's listed as. I don't, who knows anymore with all of that. You guys, this is a political show, but
Right.
obviously, but yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they've been married for a long time, or if this is a
Convenience marriage. Oh, they've been married for a minute, man. There was a
what do you call it when it's a late in life romance? Is it a summer romance or a
winter
winter romance?
No, winter
like
is
you're
early.
about to die.
They've been married since 2014.
Okay, so yeah, they have not. She was on Curb. I was wondering if they had been married while she was an up and coming actress, but no, it was after she was famous, and he's always probably been pretty famous with that name.
Well, he's 57, so that was 9 years ago. So 46. So I mean,
and how old is she?
I'm sorry, no, she's 57.
Oh
yeah, never mind. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is 69 years old. My man.
Okay,
My
RFKJ.
There we go.
Hey, man, the Kennedys.
Shoot or
right?
shoot, man. Shoot or shoot, man.
Yes, they do. That whole bloodline.
All right, anyways, Corey, let me be the first to congratulate you on your engagement and wish you a happy birthday.
Well, you're not the first, but thank you very much. I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate all the birthday wishes as well. I can't believe I'm 39 again.
Aslan, thanks for your grit and grind. You bring a vibrant, youthful energy to warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not saying much. A lot of old guys. Well, no, we got Matt now, right?
Yeah.
Matt's the young gun.
Yeah. Well,
We
Tom
got somebody
Lang,
in their 20s.
Yeah, Tom Lang's younger than I am, too. So
He is, that's right.
Yeah. All right, picture it, if you will. It's just after 9:30 p.m. local time, January 8th, Houston, Texas.
Okay.
There's 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half of the college football national championship. Looking for some good karma, two decorated journalists have decided to embrace their inner Texan. Corey is wearing his lucky bedazzled jeans from the 2013 Pittsburgh game, accented by a gigantic belt buckle that he picked up at a truck stop on his journey over.
Absolutely.
Aslan is decked out in a bolo tie and Resistol cowboy hat. Resistol? Maybe that's a brand name cowboy hat. Starstruck as he is sitting next to a newly unemployed Jimbo Fisher.
That could be the case for sure.
Oh gosh! Yeah, do you see? They just signed a quarterback from New Jersey, so they're in that part of the Jimbo Fisher experience.
That's right. He's tired of getting them all from Texas.
Yeah.
Let's go to McGuire's home. Where's Cosentino? Go back to his high school. Maybe they got another one.
At this point in the game, there's 3.5 minutes remaining. Would you rather the Noles be surprisingly leading Georgia 21-3, the Dogs being a 15.5-point favorite prior to kickoff, or would you be shockingly trailing 21-3 against a far less formidable Texas team? Do you take the 18-point handicap and have to hold on for dear life against an angry juggernaut, or do you like your chances to #climb your way back against a talented yet poorly coached team who is notorious for choking while getting to watch their fans completely melt down as it's happening? See you in Orlando and hopefully Houston.
So you're asking a guy, again, you know this, clear. If you know the genes, if you know my genes story from Pittsburgh, you definitely know that I'm a Falcons fan, and I lived through the 28-3. And that was just one quarter to hold it. So you're asking somebody that anytime my team gets a lead like that, I get more nervous. Like, oh, God, please don't blow. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's how it starts. That's my mindset for 3 hours. So in that regard, just for my own personal well-being, I would probably prefer to be down 21-3 and be like, okay, maybe it's the start of something. Okay, got a little momentum now. It's 28-16. But no, you're going to want to be up 21-3, even though we're assuming Georgia is a better team than Texas.
Yes, clearly,
but
yes.
You have an 18-point advantage. You have an 18-point runway cushion. So you would always prefer that. Because I always do this when I'm watching a basketball game and the team I'm cheering for has, let's say, a 16-point lead with a half to go, and it's 68-50. In my head, I'll be the first team that gets to 90 wins. That's what I'll do. Like, okay, you've got an 18-point lead. If you can get to 90 before that other team gets near, you're going to win the game. So in that regard, if you're up 21-3 on Georgia, my thought is, with that much time left, get to 35 points and the game's over. They're not going to score 32 points in the next half. Or the next half in 3 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the game I play when the team I like has a big lead. So that's and I get to do that a lot with the Falcons because they always have big leads. So I would say that would be like when I was watching that Super Bowl. I probably should have said when it was 28-3, first team to 34 wins. And the Falcons didn't get there.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, this is like kind of relitigating 2013, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So
the question there would be, would you have rather had a 21-3 lead on Alabama in that same situation, or be down 21-3 like you were to Auburn? And I still think the answer is probably you want to be up 21-3 on Alabama.
Yeah.
You saw everything that had to happen. And Florida State was vastly superior talent-wise than Auburn.
Yeah.
And it took a kick return. It took,
fake
frankly,
punt.
it took an interception by P.J. Williams and then him fumbling and LaMarcus Joyner recovering it. It also took, frankly, a missed tackle by a future Hall of Famer for you to win that game. So all those things had to break. A pass interference that was thankfully called, although it should have been. A deflected pass inside the 10 that if it hangs up in the air another half a second is intercepted and the game is over. A 6-6 freak. All those things had to happen. So I still think you want the 21-3. I answered way too long.
No, you're fine. Roberto kicked a field goal late too, right?
No. They were up 21-10. They were 21-10, right? 21 to
third quarter 41-yard field goal. So not late. But
not
I mean,
late,
hey,
I knew it wasn't late, but he made one he made one in the second half, What did that make the score? 21-13?
Correct, yeah. That was the only score of the third quarter.
And then what was the next score? The Abrams touchdown?
Yeah, I'm going to assume so. I'm on ESPN. All it says is pass complete for a touchdown, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
But it was Florida State scored it to make
correct.
it. That's right. And then Freeman got penalized 15 yards for taunting Auburn when he did. I mean, if you watch it again, it's just the most ridiculous call you've ever seen considering the circumstances. So then they couldn't even go for two when they made it 21-19 because they had it at the 18-yard line. So Aguayo had to kick a 35-yard extra point to make it 21-20. Anyway, there you go. What about you, Aslan? You didn't even answer it. I've been talking for 7 minutes.
No. That's great, though, man. I love it. Yeah, that North Carolina game, like it's all coming full circle with this show today. Like that 2020 North Carolina game, was a little bit underwhelming almost because we were holding on for dear life.
Didn't score a point in the second half.
Yeah, like that was not fun. But I guess it's not really the question isn't like what's more fulfilling, coming back to win is obviously, but just, I mean, if you made it that far, you want to be up. You just feel like you'll be able to hold on. I would never. There's no situation where I'd want to take that unless
I get the question.
Yeah,
if
for sure.
If it wasn't Texas, because obviously if Texas is in the championship game, they're a good team and they have a ton of talent because it's Texas. If it was like somehow you're playing Idaho in the championship game or Washington State, a team that you have a vastly superior team to, maybe you would think about it. But Texas, that's what scares me. It's like you have to play almost perfect to come back against a really good football team when you're down 18 points.
Okay. Well, hopefully we won't see because Florida State will lead wire to wire out in Houston. But I'll be wearing a bolo tie.
I mean, it'll be 21-3, but that'll be starting the second quarter. Yeah. It's going to look a lot like the Georgia TCU game.
Yeah.
Like Florida State, it'll be a race to 70. And Florida State's going to get there, and Georgia's going to end up with 11 points. They're going to win 70-11.
All right, so there's not as much time between the conference championship game and the playoff. There's more there than there is between the playoff game and then the national title game. So I don't know how quickly we can get jeans bedazzled. Though I want you to get those jeans that they even fit you, though, the jeans you wore in 2013 against Pitt, now that you're all svelte?
No, they'd still fit me. They'd be fine. I'd have to wear a belt, but that's where the belt buckle comes in.
All right, right on.
But I don't know where they are. That might be the problem. I don't know where they are. I have not seen them literally in a decade. But I wouldn't have thrown them away because, golly, I looked good in them.
Yeah.
And they were lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so you've heard it here. I will wear a bolo tie. I don't know I won't wear a cowboy hat in Texas. That just
apparently cowboy hats are also crazy expensive. Good ones.
Well, that and I feel like it's almost disrespectful, man. Like I remember being on the plane with Ira to El Paso, and like there was a real I don't know if he's a real cowboy, but like you could just tell he was a Texan through and through. And like on those flights that go between all the ones that connect in Dallas and go around the state of Texas, like what do you call it? A flight attendant. The flight attendant will go up to them and they'll hand the hat to the flight attendant. There's a special cubby they own. They reserve one of the overhead compartments for cowboy hats. That's how important they are. So I don't want to disrespect the thing, but I will wear a bolo tie. I will get jeans bedazzled for Corey before we head out to Houston if they make it to a national title game. So you heard it here.
Fair. That's fair. I will. Maybe I'll go to Pittsburgh and go to that store and see if they're still there, if they still sell them. But we'll figure something out. And also, you can wear a cowboy hat, man. It's not disrespectful. Kid Rock wears a cowboy hat, man.
He's American, bro. He's American through and through.
He's from Detroit, right? Isn't he from Michigan?
Yeah. What's wrong with Michigan?
Well, there's nothing wrong with Michigan, but that doesn't really scream cowboy hat.
Resistol is it looks like the quintessential George Strait cowboy hat,
there you go.
White ivory in color, black. It's got a proper name, probably, whatever that string is that goes around the hat. But all right, we'll make it all happen. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for all your questions. For real, we appreciate the heck out of it. Don't forget, live recruiting show with Michael Langston at 5 o'clock, talking about the momentum generated from the elite camp and what to look forward to the remainder of this month. We have the top 40 again over on warchant.com. Jeff and Tom sharing their picks and insight into why they've got guys where they're at. The portal is still open for baseball. Link and the boys. Two pitchers the other day we didn't mention on the show, right, Corey? They added 2 more arms.
They did. A kid from Florida that pitched 8 times this year, but he's 6'8", and he was also considered one of the top 10 outfielders in the state coming out of high school. But he only pitched 8 games this year. And then the other kid is the kid from UNC Wilmington, who actually neither one of them had great ERAs. The kid from UNC Wilmington, once they moved him to the bullpen, I think had a 1.8 ERA over his last 20 innings. And gave up 11 or 13 hits in 22 innings with 23 strikeouts. That's pretty elite stuff. So I don't know that he's going to be a starter, but that's a nice bullpen arm for sure. And that seems to be where he thrives. So And he's experienced. He's draft eligible. He's draft eligible, but I don't know that he'll be drafted, at least high enough to maybe go. But they got that's now 4 pitchers they've added to the staff, including Cam Leiter from UCF.
Page 1 of the Corey Clark Fix-It book. Throw options at the problem. Throw human resources at the problem. So all that over at warchant.com. Stay connected. Jeff Cameron Show, 1 to 3 o'clock with he and Tom Lang, live on 93.3 FM as well as Warchant TV, our YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up, 5-star rating and review. Subscribe to warchant.com. He's Corey, I'm Aslan. Thank you for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.